I've had this problem my whole career. I'm just a very direct person. I'm not really good at sucking up, and I just kind of say what I feel, but in a very honest, respectful way.
Yeah.
But I feel like women, and I think probably a lot of women in this room, and Olivia, I'm curious if you had this experience, they say something directly, and maybe they're not being all sweet or whatever, funny or deflecting it with humor. They just say what they mean and mean what they say. And then they walk away and they're like, oh, I'm such a bitch. They think I'm such a bitch. I was so bad. I hope they don't hate me. And it's the whole likability thing. And I'm wondering how you, as a director, as the person in charge, full stop, dealt with this likability issue, because it's plagued me my entire career.
I think people appreciate clarity. And it was easy to focus on being clear and to allow people to feel heard and then feel that my demands were warranted and fair, and therefore I wouldn't regret having made that statement. As long as I'd listened and then been very clear about my point of view. I think where leadership can seem reckless and unpleasant and aggressive is when people don't feel heard. So it is a part of the film process that things move very quickly and things become very chaotic and things change constantly. But you never have to become a tyrant. You can be very clear and direct, but I think people really appreciate it because they feel those boundaries are in place and they're being kept safe. I think you can always communicate why you are asking them to work harder, why you need this thing to be different, and to pick those battles. I remember a moment where a props person brought the wrong prop to set and we were under the gun for time, and everyone expected me to lose my mind and blow up because that's what usually happens, and people throw things and they yell and they think that seems powerful. And I said, there's no reason. It'll be more efficient if we just wait for the correct prop to come. I heard someone gave me the directing advice the other night, said, oh, Stanley Kubrick used to say the key to directing is to have at least 5 arguments a day on set so that everyone feels on their toes. And I was like, that's the most male philosophy of leadership I've ever heard. I can't think of anything that would make people less efficient and less invested than perpetuating tension through arguments.
And I went to the set of The Handmaid's Tale, and the director said, she said, it's so hard to get your first
Yes.
break. And men just hire these guys because they have more faith and trust or confidence in them. And as you said, they can build up this list of credits, which helps them achieve more and more and more.
Yes.
But if you don't get those first few things under your belt, you're kind of hosed.
For a long time, I feel like for one woman to feel she was succeeding in breaking through all the barriers and the glass ceiling, there was this sense of, I must go at it alone, because if I bring others with me, it'll be harder to get through this small crack in the ceiling.
Yeah, and I think that was true in television news in some ways.
Yeah.
When there are very few spots, as magnanimous as you want to be, you're sometimes just not, because, there are very few spots.
Yeah, it's true. And now I think that's changing. I've benefited from people like Greta Gerwig, who is giving me crew members that she loves, that she relies upon. By recommending them to me, she's making them unavailable for her projects, but she so wants to support me and my next endeavor that she's like, okay, you gotta call these 5 people. They're my trusted allies.
That's so awesome.
Sharing your brain trust, sharing what you've learned is something that has a huge effect, but for a long time people felt, okay, I've gotta protect these secrets for my own success.
Yeah, I find it so gratifying to see women being much more generous with one another, because I'm a little older than you are. And I think that my generation, I think there wasn't that feeling of let me support you, it was so intensely, fiercely competitive.
Well, for so long I have even felt that it was about being a part of a boys' club. And now it's about being a part of a girls' club proudly and feeling power in that.
If you guys like what you see, subscribe right here.